We may liken hell and heaven or goodness, I mean positive energy, to energies. In the universe, all matter, all things are created by energy. And we call that the creative force, or we might call it the creator, because the energy has been scattered in different directions. All the energy has now scattered all over the place in the universe and become different worlds and different beings. These beings will acquire their individual states of thinking, or levels of consciousness, and according to the inner reactions among each other, they will generate another kind of energy. This kind of energy we will divide into two categories. The first one we can call positive energy, or we say God nature, heavenly force, or Buddha nature. The second category we can name negative power, evil or dark force, or the opposite of goodness. Now, the goodness and the positive energy are side by side with the negative. Whenever any beings, be they diva, angelic beings, earthlings or worldly people, generate goodness, tolerance, loving compassion, and cooperation with each other, then this energy will be categorized as good, the God force, or positive power. And then the more we think good thoughts, the more the beings generate this kind of goodness, the more positive power we have in our atmosphere, in our world. Whenever we or any beings generate hatred, bad thoughts, or any kind of negative tendencies, actions, or speech, we add it to the negative storehouse of the atmosphere, which is what we call the evil force. This force will breed more hatred, more wars, and more disharmony in our world or in any world in which these people happen to reside. So that is the reason why we should always generate goodness in our thoughts and in our deeds. In thoughts, deeds, and what else? Speech, yes, to derive the goodness that we have sown. That is why in the Bible it is stated, as you sow, so shall you reap, and in the Buddhist scriptures, it is stated that if you do good deeds, you'll get good results. If you do bad, then you reap the results thereof. Most scriptures mention the same things. In order to reach heaven, it is logical. Now we know that we have to tune into goodness, to the positive part of the world. And the more we step into goodness, the nearer the goodness. The more we merge into this heavenly quality and the more we are near to heaven. The negative force may exist in our neighborhood, but it will not affect us. For example, we have lights in our house, neon lamps, and outside our house may be darkness, but when we step into our house and stay there, we can read, we can work, we can play, we can see our loved ones and all the surroundings. The darkness outside will not affect our light inside the house. So that is a very simple and a kind of basic explanation about good and evil, heaven and hell. If the negative power is very strong, then it creates a kind of very condensed atmosphere. Whoever happens to be drawn into it by his own or her own actions will experience the so-called hell, where the most intense agonies, repentance, and guilty feelings will torture them until they have paid off the bad thinking or deeds that they have done before. We can avoid that. We can avoid this stage of agony, which is called hell. If we turn to goodness now, there are two kinds of heavens. One is temporary and one is permanent. The so-called temporary heaven can be earned by doing good deeds, by avoiding evil, and by practicing religious penance or believing in some religion or the God of your faith by prayers, reading scriptures, and trying to live accordingly as much as you can. Another kind of heaven, or kingdom, or what we call the ultimate kingdom of God, is the permanent, eternal, everlasting one that requires more effort and that requires the grace of the Almighty, the God nature, or the God within us. If gods and goddesses in heaven are supposed to be compassionate, why do they sometimes want to keep the souls from going to higher levels? Some, because they are lower gods. They're not fifth level. They're not fourth level. They're second, astral, or humans, world god. Actually, they don't keep it in a way. It's not like that, no. It's the guardians of the gate of that world who keep you back there if you don't know the secret code to higher realms, or if you don't have enough merit, spiritual merit, or if you don't have the grace of the Master. The guard of the gate will stop you. And some people are initiated into a lower realm god and you vow to be devoted to that realm. to that God because you don't know a higher God. And so you are also stuck by your own vow, by your own devotion. It's not the gods that keep you. But anyway, it's a lower level God. But no God can do anything if we are upright, correct, and virtuous, and morally high. It's all our doing. This is just the Maya world anyway. And he thinks that he created this world, so of course he wants to keep you here, thinks that he can. It's just generally speaking. But he did not mean anything bad. It's just that he kind of loves it like this. This is a kind of not very high level love, more possessive love. But if we are initiated and we told these lower gods, or the gods that are created by the Maya, said that we study with so-and-so master, and now we want to go with this master to the 5th level, we don't want to stay in a lower level anymore. We thank them for all their help and teachings and love up to now, but now we want to go with the master to a higher level, then they would let you go, and immediately. The moment you told them the name of the master that you presently study with 5th level master, then they would let you go immediately. You remember some time ago, we had an international retreat, and there was one of your sisters and the other one of your brothers in a similar situation, studying with another teacher before. So when they came to initiation in the Kuan Yin method, they could not go higher and they had a headache whenever they meditated and wanted to go up. So I told them, you should apologize. That now you want to leave the lower realm and go to a higher level and study with a master CHINGHAI. And then they let you go. But you have to thank them also for all they have done for you all this time up to now. Because if you go to the high school or college, you should not just forget to thank your kindergarten teacher or your primary teacher. Must be polite, humble, and grateful. Then everything will be okay. And then after they did that, what I told them, immediately everything went okay. They don't have any more headaches and they went up. In the high spiritual realm, if you want a kid, no problem. You don't need a husband like here. And nobody laughs at you because you don't have a husband. You just produce kids by yourself. Very simple. You sit there, you say, I want a kid. And you look down in the lower realm. You look in a lower realm. Because mostly, if you want a kid, you adopt from a lower realm so that he can be elevated. Just like here, we go to the orphanage and adopt a kid so that he can have a better life with us in the family. Of course, you can adopt kids from a mother, too, from the mother who doesn't want to take care, who is not able to take care because of her situation or inconvenience, or because of reputation or whatever. So then you just adopt them, yeah? In the higher realm, you look down into a little lower realm. You see which one you like, which soul is available and you like. And then you ask that soul whether he likes to come up to be your kid. And if he's okay, you just sit there and the kid will come up to you, in the light, in the center of the light. All your family members sit together and concentrate, and there has to be the center of the light in the middle, and the kid will be born in that light, come to your family just like that. Immediately. Yeah, probably some light will look like a lotus, things like that, and the kid will be born out of it. And then he becomes your family member immediately. And his spiritual status is immediately also elevated. It's just like you are adopted by a noble family, or a president even, then you become the president's kid. You become the first kid. No matter where you came from or what kind of background you had. It's like that. Cute master, when animals go to heaven, do they keep their animal form or can they have a different form? And if they have a choice, then why would some souls choose to have an animal form in heaven if the human form is considered more privileged? Some, no, in heaven, the human form is not so much useful like here. Human form is also an ethereal form, it is no form. Not very solid form. The animals, some of them are created just to, like, decorate. And some can choose to retain that form. They can change their form anytime they want. It depends on what heaven they are in. They can choose it. They can choose to be today human. Look like a human, tomorrow look like an animal. They amuse themselves in all different kinds of things. D. If there were male and females in the 5 spiritual realms, and what would be the reason? Because aren't souls supposed to be genderless? Some, in the low heavens, yes, in the higher heavens, no difference between male and female. But they might choose to appear like that if they want to, but there is no lower desire between male and female. In astral level still have gender, but they don't have what we call, sex, from this planet. They have just love, maybe desire to be near each other to do things together, but not so very physical like on this planet. Q. Do people in heaven have different ethnicity for diversity? And if so, are their ethnicity similar to those on Earth? Some, if they choose to manifest themselves in different skin colors. They do it for fun, but nobody discriminates. And in higher heavens, there's no form, no color of skin. There's just light surrounding the body, the ethereal body. Q. So beings over there, they just choose whatever ethnicity, appearance, and gender they want to look like. Some, yes, if they want to. They do anything they want. Just as a matter of seconds as they thought, so they will be. Q. Is it true that heavenly beings have different jobs in heaven, and do most jobs revolve around uplifting the beings in lower levels? Some, they have jobs, they have creativity. They do what they like. And if they choose to help other lower beings, then they can do that. Or if they don't choose to, then also they don't have to do it. It depends on what heaven as well. So is it the higher levels where beings are more concerned or less concerned about helping those in lower levels? From the 5th level to maybe 3rd, 2nd, or astral. Then some beings are concerned to help humans, or because they still have affinity with humans. But above 5th level, they are not really concerned too much. Q. They are more concerned with, I guess, the regulation of the universe or that sort of job? Some, it's just different, completely different than here. Completely different than what our concept is about what good, what bad is. And what we should do and what we should not do. They have other things, they just enjoy themselves. They don't hear us. They don't hear you suffering here. That's why Master has to come down. That's why Master has to be in all different levels and connected with all beings in order to know what their sufferings are. If the Master just stays at one level, or just above the 6th level or above 7th, 8th, 10th, 9th, then the Master also don't hear anything, don't see anything. No connection with the suffering down here. Do you know anybody that, physically, you really know and see them suffering in hell? Do you? No, Master, no. Okay, you see. Same like that, because you are not connected down there in hell. The same with the people above the 6th level. They have nothing to do with this anymore. Q. What about the heavenly Dharma guards? If heaven is peaceful, why are they needed? Some. It depends on what heaven. Or maybe it's just a job to keep other lower level beings from going up there. Q. Is the purpose of heavenly food and water, like heavenly nectar, just for fun, or is it something heavenly beings can consume to gain merit? Some. No, only low-level heavens need an even astral food. Higher heavens, they need nothing. They're self-contained, self-sufficient. They don't need anything. They don't even think of food. There is no such thing as food in their minds, or in their beings, or in their souls. Nothing. No need. Q. And the astral beings who eat food, is it to sustain themselves? Some. Yeah, some don't. Just like in this world, some people are breatharian. Some people are consuming food. Some people take fruits only. Some people just drink only. Depends on their destiny and also their choice, also their karmic background. On the 3rd level, the 4th level, the 5th level, no food, no drink necessary. Q. Within the 5 realms and even up to the 9th realm, does an individual soul exist forever once it's created? Or are there ways for a soul to exist as an individual? Some, within the 5 realms and even up to the 9th realm. Yes, exist also as individuals, but as a whole at the same time. Oneness in individuals. Q. But they exist forever, Master, once they are created? Some, once they're on the fifth level, they exist forever. If in lower realms, maybe not. Or maybe exist but suffering, and sometimes feeling like annihilated or trapped. Only fifth level, at least fourth level, fifth level, then you're completely free. Q. How do they get destroyed? Some. Not destroyed, just inhibited, or maybe destroyed if too coarse. Burned by the cosmic fire, or sucked into a black hole, and forever stay there, called Captain Hell, forever. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a name called Eternal Hell, that means eternal hell. Only people with an extremely sinful life and wicked heart will go there. Mostly in hell. There is a limit of time and there will be redemption. Q. Are new individual souls ever formed or ever created? Some. Yes, some. Q. So do newly created souls always have to start off in like a primitive form and slowly develop into a more complete form? Some. No. It depends on where they are created and who created them. If a lower level God created them, yes, maybe, but if a higher level God created them, then no, and new souls are created only when really necessary. We have enough souls already. All over the universe. Q. Are there a lot of physical universes? Some. Yes, a lot. But I would sum it up like an entire universe. One, but like section-wise. That's all, only one. Q. And does this big one universe also go through cycles of birth and destruction, or will they always exist? Some. They go through birth and destruction. It depends on what level they are. Q. And has our universe ever been destroyed before? This one? Yes, Master. Yes, may we know how and why our universe was destroyed? Some. When it's not good enough to exist anymore, then make a new one. Just like a house, when it's too much ruin and damaged, then they pull it down and use the soil, the land to build a new one. And whatever the breaks there, they recycle and make cement out of it and to build the new house. Or just use new materials to build the new house. Q. How about the spiritual universe? Does it also go through a cycle? Some. No. In the higher spiritual universe, no. They exist forever. Q. Since God created the universe, is there a point in time when all physical and spiritual worlds return to God and nothing exists anymore? Some. No. It's not like that. There are some that are coarse and some are fine. The fine ones will stay there forever already with God and never leave God. Depending on how coarse, they have to be recycled, re-screened and all that. And the lower, coarse universes are not created by God. It's the leftover and created like second hand, third hand, fifth hand from a lower level of energy. Today I'm going to answer the following questions for you. Why are some children bright while some are not as smart? Why are some people born talented and some are not? When we pray in our hearts for something, sometimes it's useful and not necessarily useless. If we pray very sincerely, our prayers will be realized whether we practice the Kuan Yin method or not. As for you who are practicing the Kuan Yin method, I have told you how to pray. Pray for the highest rather than selfish, secular things. Only then will you receive superior blessings. For instance, you may pray for liberation from birth and death. Pray that Master will help you to meditate persistently and diligently every day and to endure this world while waiting for your time to come so that you can go home. You should not pray for such things as becoming a genius or the best scientist or the most famous doctor. However, some people outside do pray for such things. Even children pray for them. They pray that they can enter a good school, become the smartest student, graduate smoothly, and so on. So some higher beings, perhaps teachers or angels from the astral worlds, come to these children when they're sleeping and silently take their souls to schools in heaven to learn music, science, or literature in their world. Then the children return superb and excellent, and become increasingly so as they continue to learn. If we can go up there through astral projection, we will see many schools especially for educating children from our world. Our Earth is not the only planet in the universe. There are many planets similar to Earth. They have the same civilization, same lifestyles, and same thinking. The children there also study in these celestial schools. Children from many planets go there. Usually, only children who are brighter, more outstanding, and have more blessings are eligible to go up there to study these worldly things. Therefore, some children are outstanding, superb and clever, and can play beautiful music or write poems at a very young age. For example, for 10 consecutive nights, the 10-year-old child of a Type A initiate dreamt that he saw saints and bodhisattvas in heaven. He learned many things from them, and after coming back could write superb poems. This is not surprising. As for you who practice the Kuan Yin method, I also take you to heaven to learn a lot of things when you're sleeping. However, our school is different than their schools. What you learn is the great wisdom. Sometimes I also take you on tours of those places, which is why some fellow practitioners can suddenly write poems though they had never been able to do so before. Also, some have never been interested in painting, but now they can paint when they give it a try, and some have never been keen about playing music, but now they love it. Learn it very quickly and play beautiful music. For there are many things that we were once incapable of doing, but which we can now do very smoothly and even better than professionals. It's all because I take you to learn in the superior schools at night. When I take you up to heaven, you also observe their superior ways of doing things. That's why we can sometimes understand techniques immediately by observing other people at work. Even though it's not our specialty or line of work, we can still understand immediately. Sometimes even better than the professionals. Have you ever had such an experience? Yes. So, after practicing the Kuan Yin method, we find it easier to do things and understand everything we read. Some people who used to be dumb can now write poems, write articles, and speak eloquently. When reading books or scriptures, they can understand them clearly, and when observing other people at work, they can also understand immediately. Sometimes when watching someone at work, we may think, why is that person so stupid? Why is he doing it in this way? But then, I'd embarrass him if I intervened. We may think, how frustrating. He's so slow and dumb. He's wasting a lot of effort for nothing. If I were him, I would have figured it out long ago. However, sometimes the other party is a professional and won't listen to us. Thinking that he knows his trade, he's the expert and we are laypersons. Every time we engage people to work for us, they tell us, you're laypeople. You can't understand. Then I say, okay, never mind, we can take our time to study it. There are matters in which I had initially not wanted to intervene. However, when it concerns our fellow practitioners and their spiritual practice, I have to intervene and say, that's not the way to do it. You should do it this way. On some occasions, I have to do it personally, and then it's somehow improved. There have been many such incidents. So we have to observe people's progress in spiritual practice before we can really tell who the true experts are. If you are already an expert in a certain field, you can do things even better and smoother after practicing Kuan Yin method. If you are non-professional, when you attempt to do something new, you can still do it. Go home and give it a try. Try doing something you have never done before, and you'll find that the condition has changed. In the higher world, we do not need to communicate in words at all. We radiate magnetic waves and others can receive them. Language is just a form of magnetic waves or a kind of vibration. After we get used to listening to this kind of vibration, we will know what others are saying, mountains or water. If we receive another kind of systematic training, we are able to communicate with magnetic waves instead of any kind of language. It is like all the world uses the same language, and when we think about something, others are able to receive. Because thinking is a kind of force, radiating its wavelength to others like a magnetic wave. They will receive and understand it. Sometimes you say that no matter where the Master is, she will answer our prayers. A lot of people have told me about their experiences like this. Most of them are fellow initiates. However, many non-initiates have also experienced this. It is not that I have a radio here and overhear what you think about inside. Instead, we have another kind of magnetic wave communication system, so we know others' thinking. We do not need to record it in the worldly language. We understand what long and short magnetic waves mean, the speed used for the emergency wave, and the meaning of slow and gentle waves. An enlightened master knows the meaning of the varied waveforms radiated from the suffering beings and responds with messages to help them or tell them what to do. In this situation, we say that this enlightened master saves the suffering beings, or they received messages from within and escaped the disaster. Because the enlightened master and the suffering beings are one within. They have the same kind of vibration inside, even though they have not found their own real selves. However, the enlightened master knows how to communicate with the real selves of the suffering beings, tells them how to overcome their crises. They receive helping messages, just like we receive messages from the radio. Enter the United Planets Network. That is why we need to practice the Kuan Yin method. The Buddhist Sutra mentioned that the Buddha speaks a kind of language understood by all sentient beings. We use magnetic waves, vibrations, or passwords to communicate. There is only one language in the universe. Whoever understands this password knows how to receive and radiate it can communicate with the whole universe. The universe is like a network, and each planet is related to the other. If we can enter the network system of the United Planets, we know everything. We will be saved if we encounter any difficulty, and our prayers will be answered. We all have radios at home. And we are able to receive messages at home, which are transmitted from the radio station. If we switch to that channel on the radio station, then we are within the broadcasting network. If you do not have a radio at home, you cannot receive anything, even though the radio station is next to you. The highest bi-directional communication system, similar to this. The practitioner is the one who enters the system in which all beings are one. No matter where we are, the master station can receive our emergency requests, know what we are going to say. The radio and broadcasting station is unidirectional, but our system is bidirectional like the telephone. For example, you understand whatever I say, and I understand what you say, too. We are able to communicate both ways. It is the highest communication system even without any equipment. However, if we have not practiced to a high level, the communication seems to be one way. Only the master can receive your message, but you cannot receive the master's message. We may feel we receive something, however, the message seems not clear to us. Because there is some obstacles in between. Maybe we have not tuned our instrument completely. Sometimes we make a phone call or turn on the radio. We hear a lot of noises and cannot get a clear message, then we have to fix it promptly. Maybe we are far away from the radio station and blocked by mountains or barriers. Like the cordless telephone, it cannot get through in mountains. However, our communication will not be obstructed by the mountain unless we obstruct ourselves with barriers like mountains and block Master's blessing. We doubt Master, or we are not confident enough. So we think we are not worthy to be saved by the Master. We are used to thinking we have heavy karma, or we feel arrogant and would like to be on our own rather than rely on others. There are many reasons for us to be blocked in our own prejudice and put ourselves in a prison without communicating or feeling the oneness. That is why we cannot receive messages from the Master. For example, if we wear a raincoat, then we will not be affected by the rain. Q. What is heaven like? Some, you go home and read Amitabha Sutra or Vyajaguru Sutra, Amitabha Sutra, Sarangama Sutra. All these describe the heavenly condition. Q. What does one do there to keep busy? Is there time and space? Some, you'll have a lot to do. You do what you like. You do what pleases you most. And not such a kind of cheap occupation to earn your money and stuff your stomach, but real interesting and elevating things. A lot of things to learn, a lot of places to visit, a lot of people to know, a lot of new things to discover. You'll be always busy, but in pleasure, not in hectic style and not with force, but with your own will. There is time and space there, but not in the sense of our world. It's a different dimension. Every planet deserves some chance. No. Okay, cute, but we have you here, right? So the other planets. There are countless planets. They also have me there. Different forms. Cute. Then other things I was thinking about is, so we have 3 planets. 3 planets in the solar system. Venus got destroyed, and Mars, I think, according to what you taught us, is almost gone. And so what I'm trying to say is, for a planet to survive, it seems like the chance is very little. They have to listen to a wise counsel whenever they get a chance, okay? Like any master goes there and teaches them, they have to listen. There's always a chance. You see, just sometimes they don't listen. Cute, but the planet has the chance. Are the beings there? The beings and the planet together. Otherwise, maybe the planet has a chance, but the beings don't have a chance. Either the beings are being destroyed, or the planet is being destroyed, or both, depends on how grave the situation is. I told you already, life like here, very difficult to make people believe what any master comes down and tells them. So they can come and try to save them, but listen or not, it's up to them, also. Like Jesus came down and taught everybody, but not everyone listened to him. And Buddha came down, but not everyone listened to him. Doesn't matter, they will have other planets. It's just I don't like the system. I don't like the injustice, the unfair system that blames everything on humans instead. Instead of the situation, or instead of the policy here, or the system that's set up, or the program. So, if we can prolong this planet, then people can have more chance to redeem their mistakes and to rebuild their lives in the planet. And if the planet is gone, then maybe there is a long time afterward, because just like a chance, you don't always have it. Even Olympic Games, they only do it once every 4 years, for example. And if you miss it, you have to wait. Now we're here. If all the humans can practice well, then they can keep the planet. And the next generation will continue in this virtuous and correct way of life. But if we don't do it, then have to wait some time, many thousands of years, to begin anew again, somewhere else. Or maybe some have to go to hell, for example, and stay there for many hundreds of years or thousands of years. That's very much suffering, so it's better we do it now. And not waiting for a second chance. Just like children, if they don't study well while they are in grade A, for example, then they have to stay there and have to begin again next year. Wastes a whole year's time. Cute, so we have the planet. Human beings can continue, and animals and others can continue to practice. Yes, and to receive the blessing. To receive the blessing while they have the chance now. Once they are condemned already and sent to hell or elsewhere, the verdict is difficult to overturn. Understand, Master? When did the destruction of Venus happen? Did it take place before the disaster of Mars? That was billions of years ago, long before Mars. Therefore, no Venus person was there for me to contact. That's why it took a longer time for me also to get all the answers for you. You see, the answers came not from Venus. All the answers that you get right now did not come from Venus itself, did not come from this hot planet. And of course, less from the Venus that disappeared. Venus 4, I will call it. In my vision, it's just number 4. For these answers, I had to ask the Mars people. The Mars elderly helped me to get some answers. And then the other more profound answers came not from Mars even. Because Mars people cannot tell everything. So, some of the questions were answered by Mars elderly, but most of the answers I told you, even for the disappeared Venus and all that, came from another source of information. Namely, we have to thank the God of the Galaxy Record Library. He keeps all these records. Your questions seem simple and my answers also simple. But I had to meditate and search the whole universe. And I had to write down whatever I could condense or could translate into human language. I had to write down many things in the night, especially when I had question and answers. I had to tune in with the universal consciousness, the universal intelligence, or the past history to be able to find the answers. And I had to write in the darkness with a small flashlight because I didn't want to break my concentration and connection, you see. And sometimes it's not always very pleasant to the eyes. Because sometimes when I get it, I cannot try to get my eyeglasses or anything like that. I have to do it quickly. See, sometimes I scribbled around. I couldn't even read my own writing sometimes. I didn't get it from my pocket. I got it from the truth revealed to me. And if I couldn't get it myself, then I asked for help. I asked who knows about this? Who knows about that? And then the answer would come to my mind. Okay, the god of Venus or the god of Mars or the elderly of Mars. This information didn't come from the Akashic Record Library. It is from the Galaxy Historical Record Library. I'd never heard of this library before. I knew about the Akashic Record Library, but that was a common thing. Every spiritual traveler knows that. But I never knew of this. They record all the planetary survival and lives in the parish and new forms and all that in that library. And no one is allowed to go in, that is the thing. It's only for the Council of the Galaxy to refer to study, or just to keep. Only they can go in there to discuss the future and how to help or how to not help, how to intervene or not intervene. It's not for any mortal, not even any spiritual master can go in there to read anything in that library at all. Because the God who is in charge of the Galaxy Historical Record was kind. He just let me know the information. So we have to thank him. Her, it's a her, sorry. It's a beautiful goddess, very kind, gentle, helpful. I also did not know this before. Thanks to your question and your earnest inside request that I was able to contact this goddess, otherwise I did not even think about that. I did not think about that. No one can go in there. But she gives me information and that is enough for us. I'm very grateful to her, the goddess. Actually, they don't care about God or goddess. Just looks so beautiful. I think it's a she. I'm glad you asked these questions also, otherwise I would not know the existence of the Galaxy Historical Record Library, and I would not be able to know this beautiful goddess. She is so beautiful. She is so soft, tender, so scholarly, meaning very well versed in literature and very graceful, very beautiful. Her hair is shining like sunlight. You see the hair. But then you don't see the hair, and the body is so tall and huge but so loving, so tender and so sweet, so loving. My God, you would like to stay there forever just to look at her. So beautiful, 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 and so generous, so kind, so hospitable to me. So we are really lucky that the goddess is in charge of this galaxy, our galaxy only. I didn't dare venture too far. I'd be spending all my time writing under a flashlight. We don't have to know everything about the universe. All we have to know is how to live in the universe. We have to know love. We have to know mercy. We have to know compassion for others. Put others before us. Just think of what they want, just like if we were them. We have to consider others in love. And that is the best knowledge for everyone, to live in any dimension in this beautiful, incredible, unfathomable universe. So, if we can know some more things, it's fine. If not, we have to know love. That's all we need to know. Love will enable us to know many more things, whatever we need to know. Are there such worlds, like physical worlds, where people are all a very high level, say all the people are at the 5th level? Do they still have physical bodies at that point? Some. Oh, they do. But there is no planet which has only such. Not all the physical planets have all 5th level like that. That is on the true planet, spiritual planet, which is called Sat Khan. It means the true home. That's the home of the master. And those people up there are all 5th level. But 5th, low 5th, middle 5th, and high 5th, and super 5th. And in that kind of planet, you don't have a body anymore. Of course, you don't have desire or anything. And suppose a physical planet like this. And all people have become initiated, or many, or almost, then it becomes a better place. There will be less war, or no more war at all, no more killing of animals. Everyone will love and share with each other love, affection, and possessions. And then we will have a happier life, less unfortunate people, less or no homeless people, less or no hungry kids, less or no disease at all. And animals will be protected, no more flesh eaters, only vegetarians or vegans.